Good evening and welcome to Sea Fishing with CJ, except for we're not fishing in the sea, although we are fishing for a species of fish that in the wild does go to sea. We've got rainbow trout and brown trout in here, and of course in the Americas on the Pacific coast rainbow trout go to sea and get known as steelheads, and then of course all along our coast and on the east coast of America, sea trout, brown trout, sea trout. So there is a link, and we're going to be fly fishing, which is a technique that I'm going to be using for bass fishing later in the year as well. So something slightly different as always. Let's crack on and see if we can't catch something. Fantastic spot, beautiful, beautiful woodland around us. So much wildlife in these woods. And these lakes, I've seen quite a few fish rising already, and there have been fish caught from this particular lake today, so they are feeding still, which is always a bit of a worry this time of the year, because as the water starts to get warm up, the oxygen levels drop and the fish activity drops off with it. It'll be the first time that I've wafted a fly in quite some time, so could be interesting. Could be interesting. Right, the rod I'm using is a Redington 9-foot number 6, and the line that I'm using is a 6-weight shark skin, which I quite like. It's an unusual line. It's kind of got it feels like shark skin, and when it slides in and out of the light of the runners, it has a sort of zinging sound, which again I quite like, which you'll hear probably when I start casting. I'm hoping that when I last used this, I left this with ample leader on it. Feels like it might be. Might have to put a new leader on it. We'll see. Have to watch out. There's quite some voracious horseflies around here, as I recall last time I fished here. So if you feel anything piercing your skin, you need to deal with it quickly. Quick sharp, as they say. It's a floating line I'm using, but I'll be using the sinking lure, sinking fly. So which we allow to sink down to depth, hoping that there's a pool of colder water, well oxygenated water deeper down, which is where the fish will be sitting, waiting for something yummy to come along and be eaten by them. I'm here with Steve Holmwood, who's my mullet guru, and desperately he's been fishing for a little while now because I've been messing around. Put on the old magic see-through glasses, and I have got some clip-on spectacles that clip onto the front of those, so that when I'm tying flies I can actually see what I'm doing, which is a bit of a result. Oh, I can see what I'm doing now. Wonderful. We've got some nice fast sinking bronze-headed cat's whiskers, which I will do a close-up of shortly, and you will see it bears no resemblance to any living creature on earth, but they are good when the watercolour is a bit murky. Oh, I tell you what, when I took up fly fishing, I suddenly realised that my eyes were failing, because I've been tying great big meaty sea fishing hooks for ages, and then suddenly I'm tying little tiny size 12s and what have you onto the line that you can hardly see, and I couldn't see what I was doing. So it was a quick trip to the opticians. I had to kind of admit to myself that I was now one of the millions of Specsavers clients. Just trim that little bit off there. And this leader is £4 fluorocarbon. Now I've got to get this fly wet, because otherwise it's going to be full of air and it isn't going to want to sink. So we need to get that out in the water. So get my specs out of the way so I can see what's going on. Something large and black behind the camera there. I don't know what it is. Might be a coot. Oh yeah, it's a coot. Moorhen. A moorhen. So I need to get this wet. Come on, get wet. Get it in. Give it a little squeeze. We'll see how we get on with this, but I think I might have to tie a longer leader. But it's first waft of a fly for quite a long while. Well, that's sinking. How long does it take to sink? It's a long time, isn't it? So once we cast out, we'll leave it stand for a little while. Fly nice and wet because it's wafting at the moment. It's not flying. A bit better. I forgot to say there are little perch and roach in here, thinking about it. So every so often you'll strike into something and a perch will fly over your head. It's the sound of the donkey wallopers in the woods. Whoa, fish on! Just to do that. Still not, it's not spent at all. I've forgotten what it feels like. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, that would be ironic, wouldn't it? That would be ironic. It's definitely got a lot of life in it, this fish still. Just not wanting to come to the bait, to the net. Oh, guess what? Well, no, don't count your fish till it's landed. I was about to say what I'm having for tea tonight, but I haven't landed it yet. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's going round the bloody... That's a good sign that there's lots of oxygen in the water anyway. Look at that little beauty, little rainbow trout. Well happy with that, well happy with that. It's only a small fish, but nice eating size. Let's turn it around because they've got a bit of a winky eye. There we go. Well happy. Let's get that in a bass bag so it keeps it fresh. Fish on! You want us to come over and fish on this into this deep hole here, mate? Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be a more artful and nice fish to catch from over there, but yeah. They are very lively fish. Sorry? I don't know that it is, but it's just very lively. It is keeping its head down. It hasn't done that long run and a jump out of the water yet, which I'm waiting for.
Oh, kingfisher.
Yeah? Awesome. I've got my long lens with me.
Where do you think? From here?
Sorry?
Where do you think I should go?
I'd go opposite. See where this trunk is sitting on the bank?
Okay.
I'd go there. Any one of those three lies, three stands or whatever you call them. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, it is a bigger fish. Definitely. Definitely happy with that. Definitely happy with that. It's a mackerel.
Oh,
Lost it?
yeah. Marvellous hook. Oh well.
I've got a fish on the drop. Or I had a fish on the drop then. That cast deserves a fish. Yeah, two quite healthy tugs then when I wasn't even, I was messing around with camera. There is some big healthy horseflies in this area, by the way. Ah, come off. That felt like a decent fish actually. That's a nice healthy tug then. Go on, be hungry. So we're going to have a look at these other lakes then.
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
Well, you got it now.
that was weird, that was. It didn't take when I was struck into it, and I just let it sink, and suddenly saw my end going away.
You got your end away.
Got my end away. It had my end away. I think both these cameras have died now. Oh, suddenly woken up. This must have had some Weetabix, this one. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Well done.
Well, that's my three fish bag. So well pleased with that. First trip back on the fly. And I got my bag. Got my bag limit. And I got my tea. They will be delicious. Without a doubt. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. Beautiful, beautiful location.
저녁을 했지